Husband faces felony charge for recklessly transmitting HIV to wife. Man charged with felony reckless conduct for not disclosing HIV status. A Metro Atlanta mother of 3 and her family thought she was dying from cancer. It was untreated AIDS instead. Atlanta, GA. Atlanta News First. A Metro. Atlanta man was charged last week after he allegedly infected another person by not disclosing his HIV status, and police now believe he may have infected others. Doctors first diagnosed Denise Brody of Conyers with breast cancer in 2017. She went into remission shortly after, but in 2019 it came back, attacking her lungs. The decline was so rapid, said Karen Young, one of Denise Brody's 3 daughters. After years of off and on hospital extended stays and chemotherapy, the cancer had cleared once again, but Denise Brody remained sick. Brody would eventually move to a different hospital to see new doctors who ran new tests, ultimately diagnosing the 65-year-old with AIDS. They end up calling us, telling us that she's not going to beat this, Young said. You need to take her off the ventilator, and she's not going to make it because she has HIV. She has AIDS. Denise Brody's death certificate shows she died on April 2nd, 2022 from pneumonia and respiratory failure due to human immunodeficiency, virus-acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. She was in full-blown AIDS after having untreated, undiagnosed HIV for at least 5 years, Young said, describing doctors' explanations of her blood work. Denise Brody's daughter said they were stunned at the news because, throughout the years, they were so focused on treating the cancer. Neither they nor their mom had reason to believe she was suffering from a sexually transmitted illness. Police believe Denise Brody's husband since 2014, Cleveland Brody, 61, gave her the virus and did not disclose his HIV positive status. He was arrested July 10th. Investigators allege Brody knew of his status and had been taking medication since 2006. Note, Cleveland Brody is not related to Denise Brody's daughters. Brody did endanger the bodily safety of another person, Denise Brody, by consciously disregarding a substantial and unjustifiable risk that his act or omission of not telling resulted in her death. Cleveland Brody's charging document said, adding, such disregard constituted a gross deviation from the standard of care which a reasonable person would have exercised in the situation. Cleveland Brody's bond hearing was held July 11th in the Rockdale County Magistrate Court, with Denise Brody's family in attendance. Based on the likelihood, the warrant does indicate that your alleged reckless conduct resulted in the death of your wife, the victim Denise Brody. So in the likelihood that this will probably escalate to a felony murder charge, I am going to deny bond, finding you a risk of flight, Chief Magistrate Judge Phinia Atten said. As Cleveland Brody's hearing wrapped up on that charge, prosecutors soon filed a second, alleging he had unprotected sex with another victim this year and did not disclose his status. I do not think my mother was the first, and I do not think she will be the last, Young said. On July 21st, state prosecutors were set to reveal the evidence against Brody in his probable cause hearing. Instead, he waived his right to it. Ayton, however, moved forward with a portion of the hearing, asking for clarity on the complicated case. A 10 judge brought in a Rockdale County Sheriff's Office investigator, Grote Levitt, to explain whether there would be additional charges. I'm still discussing that with the DA's office. We're still working on that because I got more victims coming forward, Levitt said, adding, there's another one that called me yesterday, so next week there will probably be another one charged. The state prosecutor confirmed the district attorney's office does intend to seek a murder charge. We have to do some due diligence in contacting medical personnel to make sure we have the appropriate language in order to charge it formally. The state prosecutor said. Ayton later allowed Denise Brody's younger brother, Jimmy Suber, to take the stand, despite objection from Cleveland Brody's attorney. I want the state to understand that if you decide not to charge Mr. Brody of the murder of my sister, you're not only sending a message to my family, because we are going to let you know, and we are going to let the people know what is going on here, said Suber. You're going to let the community of Rockdale County know you do not care. If Brody is convicted on charges of reckless conduct HIV-infected person, he would face up to 5 years on each count. Previously, the penalty was 10 years for an HIV-positive individual who did not disclose his or her status. Advocacy groups like Georgia Equality worked to change the law during the 2021-22 Georgia General Assembly through Senate Bill 164. The nonprofit argues the new law was not intended for cases like Brody's, who police claim knew his status and had criminal intent. So the particular instance in which someone would be arrested and charged with HIV transmission without disclosure was very, very rare, said Chauncey McGlathery, Georgia Equality's HIV policy manager and a former prosecutor. McGlathery said HIV most often spreads because people do not know their status. Georgia ranks second in the country for the rate of HIV diagnoses, according to the latest HIV surveillance summary from the Georgia Department of Public Health. According to the Fulton County Board of Health, Fulton is the nation's sixth highest for new HIV diagnoses. Pointing to improved science and medication, McGlathery said people are not dying from HIV and AIDS. This is not a death sentence, especially in 2023, he said. It did not have to be a death sentence for Denise Brody either, her family said. If Cleveland Brody would have just gave her that one courtesy, just to tell her to test herself for it, and that could have been it, and she got treatment for it, Young said, it's almost like God kept her alive so we could know what was really killing her.